I'm sitting at Pavilion Gardens Cafe in Brighton. It's just after 8:30 in the morning and the cafe isn't open yet. And this is a place I love to come to. The chairs and tables are out half an hour before the public get here. There's a really lovely atmosphere here of a mix of nature, and also you might hear there's a busker. In fact, they're not buskers, they're sitting on the grass. I'll perhaps show you. Not sure if they've been sitting there all night, just come here in the morning, but there's a guitar playing. And the reason I love to come here is because it's an intrinsically good thing to do. I've got no functional reason to come here. I'm not here to do anything. I just enjoy it, and that feels like a good thing in itself, and that's what I think intrinsic literally means. So there's no money to be made, there's no benefit to me extrinsically in any way whatsoever. And I'm aware there are certain views, sometimes attached to Darwinism, that everything that we think is intrinsically good just makes us feel safer, and therefore it's extrinsically good. But I don't buy that. And there's actually, for me, very little evidence of it, because it would have been intrinsically good for me just to lie in bed and relax, and I quite enjoy that too. I just decided to do this because it's a thing in itself and I enjoy it. And enjoyment is a very big part of something being intrinsically good. In fact, I quite like the word enjoyment, something that kind of comes from within outwards. It's not particularly benefiting anyone else. The cafe's not even open at the moment. And we often do things that are intrinsically good just for their own sake. And yet when we look back on a day, we feel enriched by it. So there's no functional reason, there's no external reward, there's nothing particularly measurable externally. And whether that is actually still part of a bigger way that I just feel safe, which gives me a better chance to survive or not, I'm still happy at the moment to go with a distinction between intrinsically good being good in itself and extrinsically good being based on trying to do something productively that could be measured externally and have an extrinsic outer reward. So the reason I'm mentioning that is that when something is intrinsically good, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever to try and technologize it. If there is even a reason to say, well, we can save time by getting AI to write something for us, like an email. We might be writing a letter of complaint and it frees us up to do something else. When I write a letter to my mum, or a love letter in my life, for the sake of it, I don't need to do it. I could email, I could go and visit that person, but I send them a little message because it feels intrinsically good, puts a smile on my face inside as well. It's no business of technology to even offer, even if we could imagine it to be possible that the AI could write it for me, even send it for me, even anticipate it in advance and send it without me even needing to think about it. What happens is the attempt to automate things that are intrinsic simply make us poorer physically, spiritually. I wouldn't be sitting here, maybe my consciousness would be ported here through an AI implant. And yet, though that's imaginable, it doesn't for one moment make me feel backward, doesn't make me feel traditional, out of touch, that I'm not interested remotely in an AI solution, because there's no problem. When something is intrinsically good, there isn't even a problem to solve. So this becomes a little bit of a messy conversation around the fact that not everybody agrees what is intrinsically or extrinsically good. But I think what has happened in the field of AI and artificial intelligence is because we haven't allowed concepts such as intrinsic goodness and extrinsic goodness to be deeply discussed, there is an assumption that whatever AI can do, AI should do, or even must do, or at least be offered using marketing. The marketing prowess of fairly large corporations. And so, for example, I would suggest as a teacher at a university, it's intrinsically good for young people to practice their creativity and to feel the satisfaction of coming up with their own original ideas. And it's also intrinsically good for students to learn how to critique, how to practice critical thinking, which doesn't just help them solve problems practically, it helps them also perhaps decide what they want to do in their day that's intrinsically good, or might be intrinsically good for those people around them. It can also help them just think creatively as they use their imagination in life and imagine where they might want to be in their life 5 years from now. Not as a problem to solve, just as a nice thing to do in a cafe as I sit here with the sun pretty much coming up in the sky quite high at the moment, and I can enjoy that. And remember, enjoyment or enjoyment arises from intrinsically good things. And what happens is, if we do automate those things that were intrinsically good, we potentially take away the capacity and the opportunity for enjoyment. And enjoyment certainly has evidence around it being good for our motivation and good for our physical and mental health. It calms us down, it can relax us, it can make us feel excited, it can help us knit new neural pathways as we come up with new ideas, new neural pathways in our brain. So by not having the conversation and challenging the idea that just because we can imagine a technological solution to anything and that AI could automate anything a human being does, it starts to invade every aspect of our life with the idea, which hasn't even been scrutinized, that intrinsically good things can be framed as problems to solve. And I think that becomes very, very necessary, because already I think people are feeling the poorer for the use of AI, which can become addictive. So certainly I've spoken to students who have used AI to write assignments and they get a good grade, and we don't know that they've used AI, but they talk about feeling a bit lower in their spirit because they didn't get to enjoy, enjoyment being a kind of outer thing, enjoyment being a kind of inner thing coming out and expressed through a smile, for example, or a look or feeling of satisfaction, is they don't get the feeling of enjoyment from having done something because it's not been treated as intrinsically good. It's been confused or reframed as something extrinsic, as a problem to solve. So suddenly writing an essay, creating a piece of art, writing a piece of music is no longer an intrinsically good thing, or doesn't have any intrinsically good elements. It's just seen as an extrinsic problem to solve. That's convenient because AI lends itself very much to simplifying, lowering expectations of something that is ambiguous to become simple, framed as a problem to solve, which then can be coded into a solution. Ultimately, the irony is it saves us lots of time to do intrinsically good things, but unfortunately we've forgotten how to do it.